What's good, everybody? It's your boy Uncle Sam's Reject here. Welcome to my Misguided Ambition channel. You know, it's more of my vlogging mentality, you know, regular everyday type of channel, man. And what I'm going to be discussing today is basically, you know, ways that I've found to cope, ways that I've found are beneficial to, you know, dealing with loss. Because, you know, I'm still dealing with the loss here now 14 years later. Here we are, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2019, 11:20 in the morning. And it's the 14th anniversary of my mom's death. Now, through these last 14 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs. You know, like people said some things like, you know, it's a man-made holiday, so you shouldn't really let that affect how you deal with things, everything like that. But, you know, I have kids. I have, you know, 2 daughters, and I have a wife. So, you know, it's a lot of women in my household. And, you know, a lot of times it's not really fair for them to get the backlash of something they had no control over. You know, it's not like they killed my mom or anything like that. But, you know, some years have been harder than others. You know, every year I've been with my wife, the very first year was the hardest. I really didn't want to celebrate it at all. And then, you know, over the years, I've kind of gotten gradually better. And even this year, you know, I still bought gifts and everything like that. But, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do the whole flowers thing. You know, me and my wife probably aren't going to dinner, but she understands, you know, that some years are going to be harder than others. And, you know, before it was like tears nonstop, messed up, you know, a fucked up mood, yelling at people, lashing out at people, getting angry at everything, being short with people, really trying to stay to myself and, you know, lock myself in a room, play video games or listen to music all day. But over the years, you know, instead of mourning death, I've learned to celebrate life. So, you know, a lot of times I definitely think about, you know, the times, you know, the good times me and my mom had and everything like that, which were, you know, there were a few, but I definitely wish that there were more, you know, because it's times where I definitely feel like, you know, I never even really got to truly know my mom. You know, my mom passed away when I was 15. She started to get real sick when I was about 10 or 11. So, you know, back then, I was a kid, you know, I'm naive. I kind of think people are going to be here forever. You know, yeah, I knew my mom was sick, but it didn't really ever hit me how sick she was until, like, you know, it was like, she was like pretty much withered away to nothing. You know, like watching somebody die in front of your eyes over the years, you know, it kind of gives you a sense of relief when they do pass on. And it sounds crazy, but, you know, it sounds so cliche, but to really know that she wasn't in any more pain. Like, my mom was in a lot of pain. There was a lot of things she couldn't do for herself. She had to have a lot of help from me, you know, cousins, aunts, like family members had to help her. Like, I even had to, you know, help my mom go to the bathroom and stuff like that. But it's still crazy, like, some of the things she did do, like the years she pushed on to go to work. Like, when I know she was in pain, like, feet were swollen, like she needed a cane. People had to meet her out at the parking lot to come help her into work. You know what I mean? So, but then there's other things I realized, like, you know, when she took me certain places, you know, like to my sporting events. My mom was like one of those, you know, like soccer moms. Like, she would bring snacks for the kids, you know, for the team. She was yelling and hollering up and down. She never missed a game. Even when she got real sick, she would park somewhere to where she can watch the whole game from her car, or she would even muster up enough strength to walk over to get to the bleachers where she had to sit to see me play. You know, but, you know, over the years that got kind of worse and everything like that. But like I say, man, 14 years later, here I am. I've been in a happier mood than lately because I have a 2-year-old daughter, and every day more and more she's starting to look like my mom. You know, like, it's crazy. Like, their smiles are even the same. I'll go ahead and put one picture up on the screen right now. I seen this smile, you know, in a picture. I was looking at a picture of my mom the other day, and I just immediately thought, like, I was like, this is Savannah. And then Savannah makes faces where I'm just like, it's eerie, like how much she looks and reminds me of my mom. Her mannerisms are like my mom. Her attitude is like my mom. Like, it's absolutely insane. It's really like, you know, I'm not really religious, but I'm very spiritual. So it's really like at times my mom is really living through my daughter, man. It's like it gives me chills how much that happened. So that's definitely made it easier over the last 2 years, because she's 2, she'll be 3 in October, long time from now. So that's definitely made it easier. But you know, it's one of those pains where it never truly goes away. You know, you'll never truly get over it. You know, there's some deaths that hit you hard, but over time you kind of, you know, you know, it kind of fades away and everything like that. Like I was like, you know, like my dad's parents died, you know, and I knew them, but we didn't have that relationship. So although I know it hurts for my dad and my aunts and everything like that, that one doesn't like sit on my brain all the time. But for me, with my mom, I literally think about my mom every single day. There's not a single day that goes by that I don't think about my mom. And like, you know, because it's sad. Like, she has grandkids now, and she'll never be able to experience her grandkids. She'll never be able. She didn't see me go to the Army. She didn't see me graduate basic training. She didn't see me retire from the Army. She didn't see me graduate high school. She was alive when I finished middle school to move on to high school, because in New Jersey they graduate from middle school. But like, you know, where we had it in the auditorium was too hot, so I didn't want my mom. You know, I didn't want her to even, you know, get too hot and overheat and have to go to the hospital and everything like that. But it's other things that she did see. Like, she definitely instilled in me a lot of things, a lot of morals and values that I carry on to this day. There's a lot of, like, I say stuff to my kids sometimes, and like it's like my mom is saying it for me, because like I just hear it in her voice as I'm saying it, and I'm just like, I can't believe I'm saying that, man. But yeah, like, it's just crazy. 14 years later, and it feels like yesterday. You know, I remember laying on the couch, you know, the pull-out bed we had that I was sleeping in at the time, because my aunt and uncles and cousins had to stay with us sometimes. And I remember hearing a commotion. Started about 4 in the morning, 3:30, 3:45, 4 in the morning. Her hospice nurse came in and everything like that. Aunts and uncles came over, and you know, it's one of those things where I knew she died. I knew it was over. But I played sleeping, and I got up for school, you know, about like 6 something or everything like that. And that's when they pulled me to the side and said, you know, she's gone. And, you know, natural reaction, I broke down. My sister was away at college. I called my sister. We you know, this is something crazy about sibling bonds. Me and my sister had never really been like the closest. But like that sibling moment we had at the time, we're sobbing. I'm talking about ugly cries. You know, those cries where you can't really understand what somebody's saying. And we understood each other just fine. And then, you know, I called my 2 best friends, Marcus and Rob. You know, their moms knew my mom and everything like that. And the first thing they said was, well, they can stay home from school. They're gonna stay home from school. So we went over to Marcus' house that day. We played video games, chilling, laughing, joking. Like, those are my brothers for life, man. Like, they know, like, I don't talk to them every day, but you know, when you got real friends and you move on and get older as adults, you already know you don't hold gripes and get mad that you don't talk to each other every day. They know where they stand. If they call me right now and need something, I got them. If I call them right now and I need something, they can do it. They got me. It's just one of those things. But it's just like, now as a man with his own family, you like, I just can't imagine what that would do to my kids. And you know, like I know that, like, I know how it tore me up. But I feel like I am a little bit stronger mentally than the average person, because I've endured so much throughout my life. And, you know, I just rationalize things. I don't really harp on a lot of things I cannot control. I harp on the things I can control, and I try to excel at those things. But, like, you know, like my oldest daughter, if something happened to me or her mom, like, she would be no good. Like, she's very emotional. If something was to happen to my wife's mom right now, even though she's an adult, like, she would be no good. They're very emotional, like, you know, and you know, that's why I'm there for them, being a rock and everything like that. But a lot of times growing up, when my mom passed away, I didn't really have a rock. I didn't really have anybody I could lean on. Like, I had a lot of friends who were there for me, and you know, they were empathetic, or they were sympathetic, but you know, they couldn't be empathetic, because sadly, it's one of those things, man, where you'll never truly know what it feels like until it happens to you. Sadly, like I said, like, you'll never know what it's like to lose a parent unless you yourself has lost a parent. And it's one of those things where it's like, we all know we're all going to go someday, one day, but it's just like, you're never even really ready for it. And you kind of get selfish, you know, growing, like, you think your parents going to be here forever. And like I said, you'll never be ready for it. Like, my mom was dying in front of my eyes, and I still was not ready for her to go. But, you know, like I said, over the years, as I've grown to learn that, you know, how much pain she was in and what she was doing. Like, my mom still was able to do a lot of stuff for me and my sister. Like, she still bust her ass a lot of days, man. But, like, I think back to, like, when my mom had a stroke, and then, You know, it kind of took her mind a little bit. She wasn't there all the way, and it's just like it was better that way. It was no life for my mom to live, and I'm sure it tore her up inside to have to be taken care of by her kids. You know, I had to grow up at a young age. I started really helping take care of my mom at like 11 years old. It's like my sleep pattern is kind of messed up now because I had to help then. You know, even though my sister was older than me, like I always wanted to wake up to be there for my mom. I was a mama's boy. I never really wanted anybody else to have that burden. My sister was a heavy sleeper, so I would wake up, I'll go help. I didn't complain about it, anything. You know, I still went to school tired. I played sports tired, but you know, I was taking care of my mom. That's my mom. Like I said, you only get one. And I know it seems like I'm rambling, man, but this is really helping me today. Cause I talked to my wife. Like I said, she understands how I feel sometimes on these days, and just I'm not really feeling in the Valentine's Day mood, you know. So me talking this out right now is really helping me, putting things into words. And so yeah, just putting this into words, you know, and even sometimes putting it down on paper is just really helping me work through this. And you know, it makes things a little bit easier year after year. And I have this platform, YouTube. It's not a big I don't have a big platform to talk to a bunch of people, but you never know who out there is dealing with the same thing. Sometimes you put things up in the air in the universe and you'll meet somebody else who's dealing with the same thing. I've gotten closer with somebody I went to high school with who I knew, but I didn't really hang out with them like that. But she lost her dad and pretty much watched him, you know, wither away and die right in front of her eyes too. And every year we talk to each other, you know, when it's that time for each other. And, you know, we're just having that shoulder to lean on. You know, my wife, you know, like I said, even though she can't really understand, she's there for me all the time. And I'm really grateful for all the people who've been there for me throughout the years. And without you guys, I really don't know how I would have made it through sometimes, man. Because I remember I was dealing with this in basic training in the Army. I left for basic training January 22nd. We were out in the field doing, you know, CLS stuff. For those of you who are in the Army, you know what that is. And I just had a breakdown, and my boy Solomon, man, you know what I'm saying? It was like my homeboy all throughout basic. He was there for me, man. He really helped me pick my head up and get through things, and made things a little bit easier, man. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time to hear me out, listen to me, share my story and everything like that. Get your girls, your ladies, or your man, whoever you are, something nice for Valentine's Day. Enjoy the holiday, man, and really go out and do something fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, stop and smash that like button. Hit me up in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new. It's your boy Uncle Sam's Reject. I'm out of here. Peace.